troubling when scripture is used to defend laws that contradict the very heart of God's justice. Would you tell Jesus you can't heal on the Sabbath because the law forbids it? Would you stand behind the law as he was nailed to the cross? Jesus himself paid the price for defying the laws of his time, when those laws stood in the way of his commandments, to love, to show mercy, and walk in righteousness. So why do we fixate on the few who do harm while overlooking the overwhelming majority of immigrants who contribute, serve, and seek only a better life? Why do churches emphasize the civic duty to vote, yet remain silent about the biblical commandment to welcome a foreigner? Leviticus 19:33-34. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. Treat them as your native born. The irony is clear. The overwhelming majority of immigrants are Christians, Catholics, and believers who seek refuge for their families, longing for the same freedoms and opportunities that many of us take for granted. And yet, many Christians in America today advocate for laws that would wound those who share their faith, enforcing policies that contradict the very message of Christ. It almost feels like Christians persecuting Christians. We may not always agree on politics, but I have faith that most Christians believe in helping others come to Christ. So why then do many churches send missionaries to foreign countries and spend millions of dollars to spread the gospel, build churches, and hand out Bibles? Yet when immigrants come to the United States, many of them already Christians, and others open to hearing the good news, some believers want to send them away. If we are called to make disciples of all nations, why are we so quick to reject the ones coming to us? Imagine an army of immigrants who would turn around and go back to their native countries, spreading the news of how American Christians are our friends and what true Christianity looks like. Imagine the amount of money and time churches would save. History has shown us that when we embrace different cultures, perspectives, and ideas, we grow into a stronger, more prosperous nation. The same is true in Scripture. When God's people followed His teachings, they flourished. If we believe that righteousness exalts a nation, then shouldn't we also believe that embracing justice, mercy, and love, especially towards fellow believers, will lead to our prosperity as well? I want to be a little real with you. I've made mistakes in my life, some bigger than I care to admit. But you know what? When you think about it, it is a noble act crossing a border in search of a better life for your family. We all want the same things. And if we're honest with ourselves, most of us, somewhere in our family history, we have roots in the same struggle, the American story. Why not grant that opportunity to people who have contributed so much to our prosperity for 10, 20, 30, or even more years? It is the Christian way.